Hello everyone. Um, Today I am going to share you again another video, and it is actually a programming problem that I'm going to to explain and give uh, programming solutions, and we'll try to simulate it manually, and then along the way I'll be sharing my way of analyzing the problem, right? And I hope that the end of this video I'll be able to share you some techniques in programming that you can use it along the way while you're trying to improve your programming skills, right? Because as a programmer, it is quite important for us to know first what is really the screen output of our program, more or less, and then for doing the coding, right? So what I'm trying to point out is, as much as possible, as programmer, we have to know, and we have to learn in doing manual simulations, right? So we'll try to simulate the program manually, and then after that we'll try to encode it to our online compiler and execute it. We'll see if the screen output is correct, and we'll try to see if it addresses the programming problem. All right. So okay, here, um, I would like to share my online notepad. This is the problem, right? Write a C program to find the sum. Okay, we have to look for the sum of all odd numbers from 1 to n. So when you say 1 to n, meaning n is dynamic, so we need to ask that value from the user, right? So we need to do some, we need to use some input and output statements in C just to ask for that n number. And eventually we'll be using that n number as our limit for our loop statement. And in this particular problem, the problem demanded us to use for loop. Okay, so that's it. I have here a sample program for this one. Okay, I'll repeat. We are directed to create a program that will tend to add all odd numbers, okay, from 1 to n. N is a variable, so we'll be asking this n from the user, all right, by using for loop state. That's according to the problem. Okay, so this is not the program. I did this a while ago just to save time, right? Just to save time, and to save the your data also. Okay, now include stdio.h, right? Then followed by this is one of the most abused lines in C, and then followed by the curly bracket. Okay, so this is the begin and end curly bracket, and here this is our programs. All right, so I declared I as my variable for my for loop. I By the way, I saw a post on social media, an Indian national bringing a board saying that please stop using variable I for loop statement. And here I am, I'm using I, right? And then n for the limit of our for loop as demanded by the program. And to add the sum, we need to have a variable, and I use sum, and of course initialize it by 0. We can initialize it by 0 or just declare sum as an integer, and that's okay. All right, so this is now the input and the output and input statement. Printf enter upper limit, so I am referring to the n, right? Then scanf n. So we'll try to do some manual simulation, right? So for example, if the user entered 5, okay? So if the user entered 5, what's next? The next line that our C compiler will execute is this one. All right. So for I is equal to 1, okay? So I now is being initialized by 1, right? And then followed by condition. If this condition is true, perform. If not, do not perform and proceed to the next line. That's the behavior of for loop. I did discuss this out so many times, right? So is our I less than or equal to n? Good as saying is 1, which is actually the value of I is less than or equal to the value of n, which is 5 in our example. So meaning the result of the condition is true. Now since the result is true, what's next? Perform sum plus equals I. Meaning you're good at saying sum is equal to sum plus your I. Alright? So our sum is 0 and our I is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1 and stored it to sum. So meaning from sum which is 0, the present value of sum now because of this 1, since the condition is true, is now equal to 1. Right? So sum plus equal I, that makes sum is equal to 1. Alright? So that's it. And because of this curly bracket, it will moves up. It goes to the mother one with this one. I plus equals 2. Meaning every time it loops, increase the value of I by 2. What is the logic of this one? Why we need to increase the value of I by 2? Why not 1? And why is it that we started at 1 as the first value of I? Now take note that on our problem demanded us to add all odd numbers. Meaning we need to sum up all odd numbers from 1 to whatever is the value of n. So that's in accordance with the problem. And for us to get the odd numbers, since our i's will start at 1, when we tend to add this by 2, that's another odd number. Right? 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 is an odd number. The next loop, 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 is another odd number. So if instead of adding 2, we'll add 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 is not an odd number. 2 is an even number. 2 plus 1 is 3, that's good. But the next time, 3 plus 1 is 4. Again, it's an even number, not an odd. So for us to sum all odd numbers, we need to increase the loop by 2. Alright? So that's the reason why we have here I plus equals 2, meaning increase the value of I by 2. So the first value of I is 1, plus 2, that's 3. Okay? So when it loops, because of these curly brackets, right, our I now becomes how much? Our I now becomes 3. Because I plus equals 2, that means add the value of I by 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Alright? And then condition. Is your I, which is 3, less than or equal to the value of n, which is 5? Again, the result of the condition is true, because 3 is lesser than 5, of course. And then perform. Sum is equal to sum plus I. Our sum was how much? 1. 1 plus, right? 1 plus the value of I, which is 3, that is equal to how much? Oh no. I'm sorry. For a while. Yeah. Okay. So I'll see sum is equal to 0 plus I, that's 1. So sum is 1. Alright? Then when it loops, it increases by 2. So I plus 2, that's 3. Sum plus, how much is our sum? Our sum is equal to what's our sum is 1 plus 3, that's 4. All right, that's 4. And then add it up and it goes back again. So am I right? Okay, we need to increase the value of I by 2. That's 3. No, sorry, I'm sorry. uh we need to increase the value of sum in here will be how much? Is dependent upon the value of I. Okay, so the value of I. So since the value of I is 3, right? So good as we are storing 3 to sum. Are you following? Okay, this is not 4. What is this? Now it loops again, and when it loops, how much is the value of how much is the value of how much is the value of oh, somebody's calling. How much is the value of I? The value of I now is how much? 5. Because every time it loops, our program will add 2 to I. So our I now is how much? From 3, it becomes 5. And followed by a condition. It's part of the loop, right? So the condition says, is I, which is 5, less than or equal to 5? And this time, the condition is still true because 5 is equal to 5, right? And since true, perform sum plus equals I. So what is that? Sum plus equals I, meaning sum is equal to 5. Are you following? Okay? And so on and so forth. So it will exit if the value of I is how much? If the value of I is 7. Because the next time it loops, I now is 7. And 7 is greater than 5. So meaning the condition becomes false. If the condition is false, do not perform this one and instead display this one. Alright? So sum of add is equal to whatever is the value of sum. Are you following? Okay? So here, in here, while I is how much? 3, alright? Is 3 less than or equal to 5? That's true. If true, perform this one. So when you say sum is equal to plus equal I, meaning you're trying to add what? You're trying to add whatever is the value of I plus the value of sum, which is how much? 1. Alright? 1. So 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Okay? So the present value of sum now is 4, not anymore 1. It's being replaced by 4. Now, when it loops, okay, increase the value of I by 2, so it now becomes 3. Is 5 less than or equal to 5? The condition is true. Since true, perform again. So perform. Sum is equal to whatever is the value of sum, or sum is how much? 4, right? Are you following? 4. Sum is 4 plus whatever is the value of I. How much is our I? Our I is 5, right? So 5. So 4 plus 5, that's 9. Okay? Now, when it loops again, the value of I is how much? 7. Because every time it loops, it increases by 2. That makes the condition false, right? Is 7 less than or equal to 5? No. So meaning the condition is false. Now since false, right? Since false, do not perform this one. Do not perform the loop body, but exit the loop and perform this one. So what's the output? The output says sum of odd number, all right, is equal to followed by data placeholder. So whatever is the value of sum is will be placed in here. All right. So the value of sum is how much? Our sum is 9. Okay? Are you following? So meaning our program will display sum of odd numbers equals to 9. All right? So I hope I was able to to explain the program line by line. Just a while ago there was this technical, uh, I was confused a little, but when we tend to continue the manual simulation, we found it out that it's okay. The program is okay. So when we are to give 5 to n, this is the result. The sum of all products is 10, which is correct. Which is correct. Because the values from 1 to 5, there are only 3 odd numbers in there. 1, right? 3, and 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. Plus 1, that's 9. Okay? Now, we'll try running this to our online compiler. So this is not the program. Okay? This is not the program. The same program that we did manual simulation a while ago. Okay? So we'll try clicking run. Run button. I hope. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. For a while. I hope my internet is okay. Okay. So here, our program now is asking for an upper limit, which is the value actually of n. So if we are to give 5 to n, sum of odd numbers is equal to 9, which is correct. Okay. Our manual simulation is correct. Sum of odd number is equal to 9. Now, we'll try to doing some modifications, right? We'll try to display, what is this? We'll try to display all odd numbers in the sum. Okay. So we'll try to add printf. Are you following? Please follow. Add numbers, all right, equals to, and then whatever is that, will display what is this? Whatever is the value of I. Okay? Are you following? So we'll try running this program. The same, will give 5 as our upper limit, and when we press enter K, it's in here. Alright? Enter add upper limit 5. Odd numbers are 1, 3, 5. Sum of odd numbers is 9. Right? So it's more user friendly than before, and we just added 2 lines in here. Printf. Alright? After asking for the upper limit, it will display odd numbers and then perform the loop. Within the loop body, instead of just saying sum plus equals I, we add some. We add printf in here just to display whatever is the value of I, and to put some extra spaces in between odd numbers like 1 and 3 and 5 and 6. We did have extra space in here also from %t. Okay, and that is also the place of I. Right? So we'll give another example. Say for example 50. So 50 is our upper limit. So our program displays all odd numbers from 1 to 50, and it sum up the total value of all odd numbers. Okay? So I hope I was able to share something important to you today, and I hope you can apply these techniques in your programming journey. All right, and somehow along the way, you know, for me, 2 years from now, 1 year from now, you'll be good in programming. Just continue exposing yourselves to programming activities. And if you find this video useful and informative, please subscribe and share this video and channel to your friends, relatives who are wanting to learn programming for free, right? So as I always said, if you want to be good in programming, start learning C programming uh, language. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. Goodbye for now. God bless us.